project was different in that I didn't have a request for that instrument, and I wasn't looking to make a copy of the Primrose Guarneri. I heard it was available. Tarisio was really gracious in allowing me to come in, and I just wanted to see it because this was an important instrument historically, tonally, and just as a specimen. And once I spent some time with the original, I found myself sort of getting pulled into its world, and I got more and more curious about it. But to actually have the opportunity to sit in a room and directly encounter it is, there's no other way to really understand an instrument. I've often copied instruments that are really different than I would ever have chosen, and very different than I would have done on my own. I'll try to copy something, and I'll look at something and I'll say, well, I'm not going to do that. Then after the instrument's done, I might look back and say, I should have done that. Specific to the Primrose Guarneri, for example, when I saw the Primrose, the arching is probably the most striking part of it. I just would never have gone there on my own. And in trying to follow the model, I had very good reference material. I had arching templates, I had the CT scans, so I could really get exactly back to the arching, and I would work on it, and then I would be working on my piece, and I would refer to the reference material, and I was like, no, not far enough. So I look at what I've done, and then I go back and look at my source material again, and there's always a kind of a conversation between what was done, what I think, how I think it worked out, and it's a very, I'm kind of literally talking to myself and talking to the sages of the past as I'm working. I mean, it really is a conversation. It's like, well, why did you do this? Or how did you do this? Should I do this? Our first encounter with these works of the past is the authority they have because of their provenance. And that's a little bit intimidating at first, this is the instrument made by some famous maker, played by some famous player. With an instrument like the Primrose viola, I mean, of course, the first thing is that there's a legend to it. Everyone wants to know the legend. So I think that's what drew me in at first. And then as I studied it more, I mean, I had to sort of overcome my own resistance to some of the specifics of the way it was made. What it did in the past is it's proof that it can work. But otherwise, it has nothing to do with what I'm going to do now. Once I started, I actually was not thinking very much of the original Primrose anymore. The romance in our field is beautiful, and it gives everything a glow. But as a person who has to do things technically out of real materials, I have to push aside all of the mystique. And so it's really about this specific instrument, which is made out of specific materials and is going to move in space in a very specific way.